Okay, so AI, it's everywhere,
Right.
right? But, and this is interesting, I think, for a lot of people, it feels like only a handful of companies are really like cashing in on this revolutionary technology.
Yeah.
What if we could change that?
Right.
What if we could make AI accessible to everyone?
That's the million-dollar question. And that's where this whole connection between blockchain and AI gets really interesting.
Right.
Okay.
Because when you hear blockchain, you probably think cryptocurrency. But what we're talking about today is way bigger than that. We're
Exactly.
talking about using blockchain to potentially democratize AI itself.
Yeah, it's almost like the Wild West days of the internet. Back then, nobody knew who'd ultimately control access, and now look, a few massive companies dominate the digital landscape. We're at a similar crossroads with AI, but blockchain could be a powerful tool to ensure a more level playing field this time around.
So instead of a future where only a few tech giants hold all the cards,
Right.
we're talking about a future where anyone with a good idea and access to the right tools can develop AI solutions.
Exactly. Imagine a world where computing power isn't hoarded, but shared on a blockchain. This could let smaller player startups, even individuals, develop their own AI tools. More competition, more innovation.
That's exciting. But let's be real, blockchain has a little bit of a reputation for being slow and complicated.
Sure.
How can it possibly handle the massive amounts of data needed to train sophisticated AI models?
It's a valid concern, and it's precisely the hurdle that companies like Space and Time are working to overcome. They're building what they call a decentralized data warehouse.
Okay, I am intrigued. Decentralized data warehouse sounds impressive,
Hmm.
but break it down for me. How does it actually work?
Essentially, they've developed a way to make blockchain and AI systems communicate and work together more effectively. Their proof of SQL technology acts like a bridge, allowing AI applications to access and process data stored on a blockchain while ensuring accuracy and security.
So it's like a super secure translator for data, making sure everything stays accurate and in its rightful place.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this is crucial because we're talking about incredibly complex AI models that require vast amounts of data to function.
This is where my brain starts to hurt a little. We're talking about exponentially more data than, say, your average spreadsheet.
Right.
How do you even begin to organize and access all of that information efficiently on a blockchain?
You're thinking about this in the right way. The sheer volume of data is a huge challenge. But this is where another company, dAIOS, formerly known as OG, comes into play. They're developing a decentralized AI operating system.
A whole operating system. That sounds ambitious. What's the thinking behind it?
They're essentially creating a way to break down complex AI tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks that can then be processed on the blockchain. Think of it like this. Instead of one massive computer trying to handle everything, imagine a network of computers all working together in sync. That's essentially what a dAIOS is trying to achieve on the blockchain.
Okay, so they're spreading out the workload, making the impossible possible. I like it. But even if you solve that problem, don't you still have to find a needle in a haystack every time you want to access specific data? We're still talking about massive amounts of information here.
That's another key challenge, and this is where a company called SQD is doing some really innovative work. They've developed a data indexing system specifically designed for the blockchain.
So instead of digging through a mountain of data, you can find exactly what you need instantly. Tell me more.
Exactly. Think of it like searching for a specific book in a gigantic library. Instead of going through every single book one by one, you use a card catalog to pinpoint the exact location. That's what SQD's technology does for data on the blockchain.
A blockchain card catalog. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all starting to make sense from a technical standpoint, but I think it's time to bring this back to reality. How do all these blockchain breakthroughs translate into real-world benefits? What can we actually DO with this democratized AI?
The possibilities are pretty much endless when you think about it. But let's start with something we all care about, security. Imagine AI constantly monitoring financial transactions on a blockchain network, instantly detecting suspicious activity and preventing fraud in real time.
So like an AI watchdog protecting our money 24/7. I can definitely get behind that. What else?
Think about the potential in something like real estate. Right now, proving ownership, transferring deeds, verifying property information, it's all a very time-consuming and often paper-heavy process.
You're telling me I still have nightmares about my last closing.
Well, imagine a world where property titles are secured and tracked on a blockchain, instantly verifiable and transferable, with AI-powered smart contracts handling all the legal complexities. The efficiency and transparency could be transformative.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here. It's not just about making things faster. It's about making systems more secure and trustworthy.
Exactly. And this applies to so many other areas. Supply chains, for example. With blockchain and AI, you can track products from origin to consumer, ensuring authenticity, ethical sourcing, and fair labor practices at every step of the way.
No more wondering if that ethically sourced coffee actually lived up to its label.
Precisely. And it extends even further than that. Think about voting secure, transparent, and virtually impossible to tamper with.
I feel like every election cycle we hear about the potential for fraud and manipulation. Could blockchain really be the answer?
It's certainly a possibility worth exploring. Imagine a system where every vote is recorded on a blockchain, instantly verifiable and auditable. It could be a game changer for democratic processes worldwide.
Okay, I'll admit you've got me feeling cautiously optimistic.
Right.
But let's step back for a second and acknowledge the elephant in the room. This all sounds amazing in theory, but is it realistic to think we can truly democratize AI? Or are we just talking about shifting the balance of power from a few tech giants to a different set of players? It's like, sure, spreading the wealth is good, but are we just replacing one set of gatekeepers with another?
It's the question, isn't it? And the answer is it depends. Blockchain has all the tools to make AI more equitable, but it's not automatic. Think of it like a hammer. It can build a house or break down a wall, right? It's the carpenter, not the tool that decides.
Right. That makes sense. So how do we ensure we're building something truly beneficial with this blockchain hammer? How do we make sure AI serves everyone, not just the tech-savvy few?
Education is key. We need to demystify blockchain, make it approachable so that everyone understands its potential beyond just cryptocurrency.
Yeah, because right now it still feels like a bit of a club, you know? All
Yeah,
these technical terms and complicated concepts can be intimidating if you're not already in the know.
absolutely. But imagine if understanding blockchain was as common as, say, knowing how to use social media.
Right.
That's the level of accessibility we need to strive for.
So instead of just talking about the technology itself, we need to be talking about what people can actually do with it.
Exactly. Imagine if instead of just scrolling through social media, people were creating and collaborating on AI-powered solutions to local problems. Imagine communities using blockchain to manage resources, support local businesses, even improve healthcare access. That's the kind of transformative potential we're talking about.
It's almost like blockchain could give us the tools to build a more decentralized, community-driven future.
Right.
It's a powerful thought.
It is, but again, it all comes down to how we choose to use these tools. Technology itself is neutral, but its impact depends entirely on the intentions and actions of the people wielding it.
Okay, so no pressure, listeners, but the future of AI is in your hands. This whole conversation has been fascinating. We've gone from the nitty-gritty of decentralized data warehouses to envisioning a future where AI empowers communities and individuals. Is there anything else you think our listeners should keep in mind as they process all this?
I think the most important thing to remember is that we're still in the early stages of this technological revolution. We're writing the rules of the road as we go. That's both exciting and a little daunting, but it means we have a real opportunity to shape a future where AI is a force for good.
It's like we're standing at the edge of uncharted territory and the map is still being drawn.
Yeah,
That's both terrifying and exhilarating, don't you think?
absolutely. And that's what makes this whole conversation so crucial. The more we talk about these issues, the more we explore the possibilities and challenges, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this uncharted territory and create a future we can all be proud of.
Well said. And on that note, it's time for us to sign off and let our listeners ponder the potential of a future where AI is truly for everyone. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and remember, the future is what we make it.